was your role at the farm?
Well, yeah, well, I would just kind of do a bit of everything. Landscaping, occasionally keeping, the place looking fresh and new. Milk the cows, keep all the cattle in check, keep the animals in check, feed them, clean the chicken coops, tractor shed, pick crops, just kind of a bit of everything, really.
What was your relationship like with the family?
Yeah, well, after working there for so long, you kind of have to grow somewhat of a relationship with those people, with Frank and Mary and their children, the 4 children. They all lived there too, so I saw all of them basically every single day and talked to all of them at some point. I mean, mostly with Frank since he was my direct boss, but I'd say I was pretty close with all of them. I mean, I didn't see them as my own family.
I went to the house. Well, I went to the house and I was looking around, and I went to the house and I was walking around and saw all this stuff. So I just saw all these things sitting around, and so I started grabbing all the stuff and I started putting it in my pockets. I started looking around even more, and I started seeing more and more things, and more things to take. So I grabbed it, I put it in my pocket and started looking around more, and I saw even more. And I saw some more grass outside, and the grass looked pretty, so I went to the grass and I started cutting the grass up.
How was the farm doing financially?
Well, I mean, I'm not the best source for that, but you can definitely see that for sure. I mean, Frank made no secret they were losing money over the years, especially the past year when I started working. I mean, last month I was working for free because they didn't have any money to pay me. I've been working there for so long where if they couldn't pay me, it was kind of like, well, they'll pay me eventually, or I didn't. I just enjoyed the atmosphere, so to a certain extent I didn't mind. I mean, I did mind. I needed to get paid, obviously. I would have preferred that, but I definitely wasn't going to push them about it if they needed a little more time for the money. I think things were falling apart at that point. I couldn't do a lot of my tasks, like repainting and just making it all look clean, because I didn't have the funds allocated to me to do that. But I mean, it was odd. It was weird, like cattle that were dying for seemingly no reason. Crops weren't growing properly, taking too long to grow, or just not growing at all. One day this happened a couple months ago, we were milking the cows and this like black sludge came out. I had no idea what it was, and all the milk just tasted. We milked them again, and it was clear. It was like white. It was like milk, but it just didn't taste right anymore. And I don't know. I mean, they're constructing that. There's a lot right next to the farm, which was purchased a couple months, six months ago. And they've been constructing those townhouses nearby, next door, and so there's been a lot of just noise and vehicles and just people and excavation going on. So maybe that, I don't know, has something to do with something. I don't know, but it's been not the best. It wasn't the best site to have right next door. It definitely made things more tense. I mean, Frank wasn't happy about it at all. He made that clear.
Did you ever notice any other strange events before the murder?
Well, besides the financial situation and the cattle or crop problem, I didn't go inside like the actual house that much. I mean, I go in for lunch and during the day at certain points, but I wasn't the most familiar with the whole layout. I wasn't upstairs too much, but I remember I was talking to Lisa, their youngest daughter, one day because she was just outside, just playing around, chatting for a bit. And she said she was hearing something in the attic for a while now, like like some sort of ghost or whatever, like some ghost walking around up there making noises at night.
Could you take us through the night of the 7th?
But it was a kind of a normal day. I saw some of the family, they're doing their own thing. Mary was cooking most of the day, you know. And I left, thinking it's another normal day, a little peeved. But when I got back to my place at night, I realized I left my wallet back there. So, the tool shed probably, because I would just leave shit in there. So, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go drive back. So I drove back, and it was dark at that point. It was nighttime, around 8 p.m. I'd say, roughly. And I get there, all the lights are off, it's completely quiet. It's actually 9 p.m. 9 p.m. now that I think about it, because it was dark. It was dark. I go to the tool shed and I get I see my wallet sitting there, and I grab it. I lock up the tool shed again, and I start walking back to my car through the field, and I see something. I kind of stop. I look across the field, just kind of the open grasses, and I see like an outline of a person just standing over there staring back at me. And I had no idea. I don't know if I was seeing a person, or it was dark out, so I just didn't, if I was seeing things, or if it was a real person. But I just stared at them, and I was too scared, honestly, to say anything, so I just kind of jogged back to my car, and I drove back home, trying not to think about it, really. And in my head, I was just thinking, oh, maybe someone was on a walk. Maybe it was Frank. I don't know. I didn't really want to talk to him anyway if it was him, because I was coming in after hours and tell him either. So maybe he was just surprised to see me and say anything. But I didn't say anything either. I felt a little guilty about it, I guess. And well, even more so when I went back the next morning and I found all of them.
Do you know of any other possible suspects?
I mean,
Well, after I left the house, I drove away as fast as I could. I got out of there as fast as I could because I didn't want to get caught again. I didn't want to get caught again, even though I just wanted to lay there with them for a while. I just wanted to lay next to them and remind them of what it felt like to be next to someone. I wanted to lay there next to them, but I knew that I had to leave quick because I didn't want to get caught again. So I took all the stuff with me. I took all my pockets, I took all the stuff with me. And, well, when I took all the stuff with me, I realized I really didn't have anything. I didn't have pockets, I didn't have anything.
I mean, there's some contractors who would come over a decent amount who were trying to buy up the land. And Frank was always very pissy with them because he didn't want to sell. There was a bit of a tense relationship there, but it was nothing like to that degree, you know. So I can't say with any real certainty. When I dream of nothing. When I wake up, all I want to do is think of something, but I can't. So I don't know where I'm gonna go.